She does that a lot. I did that too.
Okay. I was telling you more about the V12.
Yes. Let me see if it's recording. It is now recording. Yes. V12.
Okay. And during the war, in high school, there were 5 of us girls that ran around together. Mm-hmm. And we got acquainted, I think probably because the V12 Sailor Boys went to Caltech, had come up to the Pasadena Presbyterian Church, the USO that they ran, and that's how we had met them. I would guess that's how it was. Mm-hmm. But we palled around with these 5. They were going to school. We were in high school, but they were not much older than we were, maybe 2 years at the most. Okay. But I remember this one time, and we borrowed bicycles for everybody, and we rode out way out east of Los Angeles, out to, it was some canyon out there, Glendora. Do you know where Glendora is?
Yeah, I don't.
Well, it's about north of Santa Ana, okay? Not very far out anymore. But in those days, it was way out, way out. And we rode up this canyon. The reason we went there was because my parents had a friend that had a cabin up there. And as it turned out, it began to rain. And it
kind of like what it's doing now.
It rained very heavily. Not quite, but anyhow. And so we were able to get into this cabin and wait out the rainstorm or something like that. But we used to do a lot of things with these 5 boys from Caltech and the 5 of us girls. And we didn't pair off until one of the gals, the only one besides me that's still alive, the other 3 are deceased now. But I went to see Sally. Unfortunately, she's getting dementia. But she paired off with one of the guys. and that sort of broke the group apart.
Oh, man.
And, yeah, you just can't do that. You got to either be a group or, you know. But we used to double date in those days.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if they do that at school now.
I think they do. I'm not sure. I haven't been on a date yet.
I won't tell you when I went on my first date. But we had driveways that went back in California. And the driveways would be, and then the garage would be behind. And so it would usually fan out to a double garage. But that would make a great place, because it was all cement, to have a jukebox and dance out there. So starting in about the 8th grade, and families, and we had a badminton court and a rumpus room, we called them. There was a room off the badminton court that had a fireplace, and then there was a little room off the side of it where we kept our record player, and we had speakers, and then we could dance out on the badminton court.
Oh, yeah.
But other people danced out on the back of these driveways, and so, but the parents would always drive you, and they would pick you up.
Definitely.
And yeah. And so, yeah, I went on my first date, I think, when I was 12.
When you were 12? Oh, my goodness.
Well, but dates in those days, you know, nothing.
It's more kind of friendly get-together, I suppose. It wasn't too...
Well, you'd actually have a date. Some boy would ask you to go out, and the rule always in my family was that if somebody called you up on the phone and asked you for a date for Saturday night, you had to go with the first boy that asked you, or you could not go to that function.
Oh.
So that was a very strict rule. So, you know, we played fair.
Yeah.
So
Can't
if
say
the
no
boy
to one person and
no, you
say
can't
yeah.
do that. Now when we got to college and I was engaged, that was a little different. I was pinned in those days, but this one guy kept asking me out, and I said, "Oh, gee, I'm sorry, but I already have a date."
Yeah.
And he finally asked my to-be fiance, "How do you ever get a date with her? She's always so busy."
I don't know. You kind of have to be engaged.
Well, it was pinned in those days.
Oh, pinned. Okay.
With his fraternity pin.
Oh, so you
Yeah.
have the pin, or what do you mean by pin?
Well, they would come around, and the whole fraternity would come over to my sorority Monday nights when everybody got together, because we didn't particularly live at the sorority houses. There was just a regular house.
Oh, okay.
And there might be 50 girls in the sorority, but we all lived in dorms. And so until you were a senior, and then you could maybe get into the sorority house.
Oh, okay.
But there'd be about 12 girls that lived at the house. But likewise, the boys' fraternity, in this case, was Phi Gamma Delta, the Fijis. Fijis. And so they would leave their place on Monday and come over, and they would sing a song. They'd sing outside the Delta
so
house.
sweet.
I think